Hi everyone, Nigel Saunders here. It is a beautiful day here today. I've got Bruce over from Burlington and we're going to work on some trees. Bruce is doing a slanted planting, so he's got a pot mounted to a wooden base and we're going to plant thujas or eastern white cedars on the top and trying to get sort of a asymmetrical triangle profile to the overall forest. So a very shallow pot, so it's going to be challenging. So we're going to grade the soil, so we're going to use very fine soil at the top, and kind of get coarser towards the bottom because all the water is going to flow down. So here's Bruce now. Hey Bruce, how's it going?
Hi there. Sphagnum moss?
Sphagnum moss, perfect. All right, let's see what our root base is like. So we'll get all the soil moved. Now we don't have to wash the roots or anything, but we do have to see what the roots are like, because we were going very shallow here.
Yeah, definitely.
So hopefully we've got a good fibrous root system in here. So how old are these trees? When did you collect them?
Oh, I collected them in the fall.
Okay, so they're pretty new.
Yeah, in the fall, and then
Okay.
there might be one or two came from this spring.
Okay.
Yeah.
So generally these trees, when you repot them, they take a while to get going again. They kind of sulk for a bit. That's what I've found, is that you do the root work and then they sit there. The first year they don't grow much, and what they're doing is growing a big root system. And then once it's got the roots back in balance, then they start growing up top. So don't be surprised if you don't get a lot of growth this year.
That's fine.
It's quite typical.
I brought this sprayer.
Okay. Oh, good.
You can, give rivers to wash the soil off, or also keep it wet too.
Okay.
So you just
Is that pumped up?
pump it every.
Yeah, pump her up. I like these things. The only trouble is I
use it for moss.
find that I use them too much and they wear out very quickly. Okay, so you can see on this tree we've got roots from here all the way down here. So we've kind of got to pick a root plane where the most of the roots come out, and I would say it's at this level. We've got a root here, one here. So I think we're going to have to remove these bottom roots.
To get it in the pot, yeah.
To get it in the pot. We'll use the ratcheting pruners. These things are awesome.
I was using them, and then I may have put them in the car or not.
These things are awesome. They just cut through anything. Yeah, I think that's...
Yeah, no,
if
I
we
agree.
cut that off.
Yeah, I agree.
If you use that as a root plane, I don't have much there. So I would say kind of coming in about here. Do you want to do it, Bruce?
No, go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we're going to want this sort of slanting, so I think about a plane like that. Like that. So now I'm thinking that goes on the slant and it's kind of vertical. So that's pretty good for our one tree, isn't it? And then we should put this in a bucket of water. So this one is actually pretty good because it just naturally
curves,
fits perfectly and goes vertical. So I think on this one, all we need to do is remove like this one root here. And I think that's done. Yeah, that worked out really well.
Yeah.
So that can go in the water. Get enough trees, you're bound to get lucky with some of them. Now this one, okay. This one. So you can tell the roots aren't active yet. If they were active, you'd see little white growing tips.
Right.
So it's a good time to repot.
Good.
And usually, I've repotted cedars in the first week of June, and they still weren't active. They were just starting to green up the tips, but the roots were still dormant. So, but after that, you got to be pretty careful. The tree will probably die if you do severe root work. So this one's not bad. A little tall, we can prune off probably to here. So off with its head, off with its tail, I guess. Okay, here we go. Like that. It's not a lot off. And I think that root base is pretty good on it. Can't complain about that.
Take that one off there.
That branch, yeah, it's on the inside of a curve, isn't it?
Yeah. It's gonna get in the way.
Okay. These do root from cuttings too. Quite easily, actually. Okay. All right, there's another one. So that's our 3, I would say, main trees. Usually in a forest you want, if you have them all even, it's kind of boring. So you usually have like clumps
So we're
of
gonna
them.
plant the 3 and then add more?
I think so. I think we should start with the 3 and then see how it goes. Here's a look at the progress so far. So we're wiring tree number 2 in place. We've pruned it up to be more of a tall, upright tree, so removing a lot of those lower branches, keeping the upright ones. Kind of making it more of a forest tree rather than a tree that would be growing in open ground. Try arranging the 2, eh? Good idea. That's good bonsai soil, isn't it? Keep that.
That's 5.
What do you think of that kind of a composition? Is that looking...
Yeah, it looks good. I like
Okay.
it. Yeah, I should have bought more trees. Because we're getting down, you know. There's 3 small ones there, so that's 5, 8.
We can put a few down here, maybe one up here.
Yeah.
Work is progressing on the forest planting. Adding another tree in here, which will make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 now. We've still got a couple little ones to go. And that might be all we have because we're running out of trees. Attaching another tree in the planting. This tree was really tall, so we're kind of laying the root system down and wiring the trunk a little more vertical. It's looking nice though. I'm liking the composition. It's looking fantastic. So Bruce is sifting soil and we're getting the fines because we're going to make a muck, fine soil to put around the trees. Because it's on the angle like that, it'll dry out very quickly. So we want a fairly fine soil particle. Bruce is mixing up the muck. He's adding a little cornstarch to it. That's looking good, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit.
As long as you can like make a ball in your hand, it's fine. That's awesome. I think that'll work really well.
That's the cornstarch. I'm going to try clay.
Okay, some clay and see how that works. And where'd you collect this clay from?
Oh, just from the riverbed.
Just, yeah. Oh yeah, that's nice stuff. Nice color too.
I think I just dug it from the creek bed.
Yeah. Nature's finest, eh?
That's better.
Cornstarch might be a bit better, eh?
See if we squeeze.
Yeah. About the same, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Both kind of split apart a bit. Well,
Let's try cornstarch and
clay.
clay.
Let's say that cornstarch is contaminated. Don't use it for cooking. That's looking good, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. And we just add some sphagnum moss.
Yeah, I think sphagnum, as you say, like rebar and concrete, it'll bind it together. And here is the final mixture for the muck. It's holding its shape beautifully. So we're going to add sphagnum moss next, right?
Yeah.
And I think with the sphagnum moss, that'll be plenty for the size of the pot. So here is the muck now with the sphagnum moss added, and it really holds it together. It's like fiberglass now or something, isn't it? Reinforced. Yeah, it works really well.
the fibers sticking out.
So that's what we're going to plant all around the trees. So we're just going to press it in all around the roots. So Bruce is going to start adding the soil. This is a big step. Here we go. Look at that. So cedars, these eastern white cedars love moisture. So I think this soil will be perfect for them. I've dug up collected cedars that were growing in pure clay, and they were growing healthy and fine in that clay. So I think they'll do really well here. And hopefully, you know, this soil will be easy to water too.
Just gotta make sure it doesn't dry out.
Yeah.
It's gonna be hard to resaturate it.
Yeah, exactly. It might start kind of shrinking or something. Ah, it's looking good. Looking really good. Bruce is almost finished applying the muck. It's beginning to look like a real forest. Fantastic. So we still have to moss the top of it. And I think clean it up, and that'll be the finishing touches. So Bruce is applying the moss now, fitting it together like a jigsaw puzzle. That moss will help the soil from washing away, won't it? It'll hold it in place. It'll be really good. So this planting was inspired by a picture here that Bruce has. There it is. So this is Bruce's planting now.
We nailed it.
Yeah, it's looking good. I think it's
years.
Yeah, a few years of development, but you've got the basic start there. I think it's looking really good. Here is a look at the trees in the sunlight now. Looking very, very cool. So we have pruned up this windswept tree, just kind of cleaning it up underneath the branches, a bit of pruning of some of the upright branches so it's got a nice kind of wind-blown look and a bit of room and air circulation around them so it's not too congested. But yeah, I think it looks quite nice. It's really kind of got that asymmetrical triangle shape to it, which always looks good. Yeah, a nice find, Bruce. So here is the windswept tree pruned up. It's looking pretty cool. It's got some nice, good thick branches and lots of movement to them. Definitely got that windswept feel to it. Yeah, pretty cool tree.
Gnarly.
Yeah, and it's unique, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not a tree you see every day. I like it. That's cool. Beautiful. That looks fantastic, Bruce.
On a fence. So I just cut it and lacquered it, so I'm gonna put a tree in there.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's
looks
really
like a
cool.
hand almost.
Yeah, it's really neat.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Here's a stake. Really cool. Nice shape, nice wood. Really cool. So this is cement or?
No,
it's a rock.
It's a slate type rock, and this is pieces.
Oh, that's really
Yeah,
cool.
So I'm gonna plant these. I haven't found the right tree for them yet.
Yeah, but eventually.
Yeah,
That's cool, Bruce. Now, it fits. Woo! Just got to drive real careful.
Yeah. Careful. Okay.
You got a full
Thank you
car.
very much.
Thanks, Bruce, for coming down. It was a pleasure.
Okay, thanks, Nigel.
Fun working on the trees.
Thank you.
Have a safe drive back. See you later.
Bye.
He's off. It was a lot of fun having Bruce down for the morning, working on that angled landscape, that forest planting. I think it's off to a good start. That's all for today. I'm Nigel Saunders. Thanks for joining me in the Bonsai Zone.